Morning visit with our Pecos Valley Bassmasters update. Joby Houghtaling with us. Good morning, Joby.
Good morning.
And did you have fun going fishing?
Yeah, we did. Had a good time. It was pretty weather up at Ute Lake. The Pecos Valley Bassmasters were at Ute Lake for the second month in a row and had a pretty good tournament.
Excellent.
Or two tournaments.
Right, because you did one day tournament. So you had a Saturday tournament and you had a Sunday tournament. And did you have a good number of anglers from this part of the state that made their way up there?
We did. It wasn't as many as, we always want as many as we can get. We had 6 boats, 6 anglers, and 4 co-anglers on Saturday. 2 of the boats didn't have co-anglers. And then on Sunday, 5 co-anglers and 6 anglers. So, we had 10 and 11 people. And like I said, we always want as many as we can get. But anyway, good tournament, good turnout.
Okay. Well, let's jump right into the results. I think Jeffrey has them all queued up, as they say, and ready to display on the screen. So here's your day one, your Saturday tournament results.
Yeah, and so those watching can see it, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it.
Please
for those
do.
that are on the radio.
That's right.
Watching on the radio, as I always say. So you can see there, this was our boaters or the anglers. Different, I always say boaters and non-boaters, but I know other organizations say anglers and co-anglers. But in any case, this was our boaters on Saturday, as you said. And so we had 1, 2, 3 limits caught, and overall 25 fish by the anglers or by the boaters on Saturday, and we only lost 1 fish, so that's always good. The weather was a little bit windy, and it was sunny on Saturday, but there was a lot of clouds moving, and it's kind of funny. I should have took a video of it, but Saturday afternoon late, the weather was coming at us, and we could see it. I mean, it was a heavy thunderstorm, and it was coming from the south, and it got there when we were weighing in, and it flat poured. So if you're here in Artesia, or you know what happened in Roswell yesterday, or here in southeastern New Mexico, we've had a lot of rain over the last 24 hours. It did that there for about half an hour. I mean, just dumped. And afterwards I thought that was dumb. I should have suggested we stop weighing in. Everybody sit in their pickups, because we just got we kept going,
drenched,
and weren't able to take any more pictures. So about half hadn't weighed in when that hit. And so anyway, but on the screen there, and then for everybody listening in, Aaron Brewer is a new member this year. He ended up winning the boater side. Mark Willever won second. Mike Hill, David Helton, who is also a new member, David. Then my dad, Jerry Houghtaling, and David Rutherford rounded out the boaters side of things. And then Aaron Brewer won the big bass, 2.90. Not a lot of big bass caught, I mean, as we're going to talk about, but still the fish were biting. It was slow, I think, for everybody, but they were biting some, and so you can see we had some good 3 good limits caught, and then everybody on the boater side caught fish.
Okay. I don't see your name on there.
I was a non-boater. I went with my dad as the co-angler or non-boater. So the next screen
would be the non-boaters from day one.
Should be the non-boaters
from day one. Okay. So we'll hit the clicker.
And so there's the non-boaters, and you can see day one we just had the 4, and there I am. And so we just had the 4 co-anglers, and 3 limits. So our co-anglers, we do a 3 fish limit. Lisa wasn't able, she didn't get any, she got some fish, but she didn't get Lisa Rutherford didn't catch a keeper, but Lex Klein, myself, and Catherine Martinez all limited. And I ended with only 4. We only paid 1 place. I ended up winning the tournament on Saturday and the big bass. I had a nice, and we're going to see a picture of it here in a minute. I think it's the biggest smallmouth I've ever caught, and it's not a huge one, but 2.6 pounds, so over 2.5 pounder on a smallmouth. And I had another one very similar to it. So I had a pretty good day. I ended up with 6 pounds with 3 fish, so exactly a 2-pound average. And Lex with 3.8 and Catherine with 3.4. And that was day one. And I think we got pictures now that he can click to.
All right.
So that is Aaron Brewer, and that was 3 of his fish. Somebody, I think it was David Rutherford, our tournament director, held one of them over there. But Aaron had a limit, and he had all largemouth bass, which if you catch those on Ute, you got to know where they're at. They're not as plentiful as the smallmouth. And Aaron is from Portales. That's kind of his home lake. And so he had a good tournament. He won both days. We'll see day 2 here in a minute. But he caught 5 largemouth. And so that if you do that, you're probably going to win the tournament, which he did. But anyway, there's 3 of his keepers. That one that's being held by David, I think was his largemouth, was his probably the big bass for the day for the boaters.
Okay. We'll go to the next picture.
And Lex was in the back there.
Yeah.
So that's me, and I won first on the non-boater side.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see those smallmouth were really good size. They look bigger than the largemouth. They looked bigger. They were longer for sure than anybody else's. But the one I'm holding in my right hand, I think, was my big bass. The other one, they were pretty close to the same size. But anyway, I won first on the non-boater side and had 3 smallmouth.
Those are nice looking.
They were really.
Nice
and
fish.
that one seemed like it took an hour to get him in. It was a fun catch. It probably took 2 minutes, but it felt like forever. And he took line from me several times and dove, and it was a great. And that's that's probably why I fish so much. I love competition, but I also like catching them like that one. And I threw it I threw my bait way a long cast, and it was just. I think it had just hit the bottom, and I bounced it one time, and he hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And I set the hook, and so I don't know how long. It seemed like it was a mile over there, but it was a long cast, and I threw it over to a point, a rocky point, and it came up immediately when I set the hook, and I saw it was I knew when I set the hook it felt good. It came up and jumped, and I saw it. My dad didn't see it, but I said, get the net. And then it took me a long time to get it to the boat, and it was a lot of fun. It never jumped again. It kept diving, which I'm thinking a lot of times when they jump, you have more of a chance to lose them.
Right.
They come up and try to spit that hook out. But anyway, it was a very, very fun catch.
All right.
You can go ahead, Jeff. And I was happy. You can see I was smiling.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay.
One too far. So that first picture that he skipped over, that's Mark Willever and a couple of his fish. And then the next one was, and Mark's, of course, longtime club member.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we can go there.
And then Lex Klein, he had a limit on the non-boater side. That was 2 of his smallmouth. He had 3 smallmouth bass.
Okay. Nice picture.
Yep. And that's one of our new members this year. In fact, his first tournament with us. That's David Helton, and he's from Edgewood, New Mexico. But he was following us on our website, and he reached out to me and said, I'd like. He emailed me and said, I think I want to fish with you guys. And he's not new to bass fishing, but that was his first tournament ever, and he did really well. But that was his big bass on day 1, and so he just got 1 picture. But he had a limit. Maybe he had 4, but anyway. So
okay.
Next picture.
All right. He's trying to get it. There we go.
And then that's my dad. So it had started just dumping before my dad got his fish weighed in, and several others that we're not seeing pictures of. But I took that one in the boat right after he caught it. That was his big bass, and that's a largemouth. And caught it that morning, Saturday morning, and it was a 2.3 pounder, I think. So I did have 1 picture of him, although we didn't take it at weigh-in.
Gotcha. But that is the fish, or a fish.
That is one of his, and he caught 3. He didn't catch a limit on either day, actually. He caught 3 on day 1. Just like I said, it was tough fishing. I had my limit before 9 a.m., and so we fished until 3. Just could not cull, and he couldn't. We just never caught any more keepers after that.
Yeah. All right, what's next on the old button there, Jeffrey? This is day
1 again.
Day 1. Okay,
yep. So you have to go to the next post.
So he'll pull up that post. So that was on Saturday.
That was Saturday.
Okay.
And
was the weather any different on Sunday? Did you have
the weather was supposed to be raining and windy all day Sunday, and so we were kind of gearing up for that, or I was. We all had our rain gear out and ready to go, but it ended up just being I don't know if it ever got above 75. The wind blew between 10 and 15 miles an hour pretty much all day, which is not terrible. It was overcast most of the day. Just a really pretty cool day.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we go. There's day 2, and I didn't realize I'd done it, but I put the non-boaters in first picture in there. But so this is non-boaters on day 2.
All right.
And we did have another non-boater joined that fished with Erin Brewer. She couldn't fish Saturday, but fished Sunday. That's Tony Coley at the bottom. She ended up not catching a keeper, but she did fish. Lex found 1. It was even tougher. It was a tough bite on day 1, but day 2 was a little tougher.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 keepers, and Catherine Martinez had a full bag, and she ended up winning the tournament on day 2 for the non-boater side. Lisa Also, she zeroed on day 1, but she had 2 on day 2, Lisa Rutherford. So the results there, and Catherine did what I did on day 1. She won, and she won big bass. She had a nice, and we'll see it in a minute, she had a 2.7-pound black bass or largemouth, and so she ended up winning first place. I was in second, Lisa in third, Lex in fourth, and Tony Coley was in fifth place for the non-boaters. Catherine Martinez won big bass as well.
All right, so let's go to the boaters and get those results.
So the boaters, again, was 6 anglers, and again, it was Mark Willever, Jerry Houghtaling, Mike Hill, David Rutherford, David Helton, and Aaron Brewer. Aaron Brewer edged Mike by 0.3 pounds. He again caught a limit, as did Mike Hill, and David Helton also caught a limit. So we had 3 limits again caught on Sunday. Mark caught 3 fish. My dad, Jerry, caught 4, and David Rutherford with 4, and then the other guys with 5. But Aaron won back-to-back. He won both days. So with 9.3, Mike Hill 9.0 was second. David Helton 8.1 was third. Jerry Houghtaling was 7.0. David Rutherford with 5.0 was fifth, and Mark Willever 4.7 was sixth. And Mike Hill won big bass, and it was a smallmouth, a really nice one, 3.4 pounds. So he took second place in the tournament, but had the big bass for day 2.
All right, so let's look at pictures now.
And we had a lot more pictures. It didn't rain on us. It didn't dump rain.
All right.
So there's Aaron again, Aaron Brewer. He was the day 2 winner for the the angler side, and there's 2 of his largemouth.
Okay.
And I think he had a limit of 5 largemouth again.
All right.
That's Catherine Martinez, and there's her big bass. I was going to say we'd see it in a minute. She won first on day 2 on the co-angler side, and she had that 2.7 largemouth there in her right hand. So 2 of her 3 fish.
Wow, that is a big fish, especially
nice
compared to the other one.
Yeah.
And those were both
keepers.
Legal
keepers, yeah. That's Mike Hill, and that's the smallmouth that he won. Oh,
that's okay.
That's Mike Hill, and he won second on the angler side, and that smallmouth in his right hand, really pretty fish. I like the way largemouth are colored, but I like smallies better. I think they've got some variations. Well, they both do, but anyway, that was a 3.4-pounder or something like that, and that's a big smallmouth.
Mm-hmm.
And he won second in large bass of the day on day 2 for the anglers, for the boaters.
All right, next picture.
That's me again. I won second, and you can see the difference. Those were both 15 inchers, but difference between my day 1 and day 2, and I only caught 2 keepers. I caught one right outside the no-wake zone at 2 minutes before weigh-in. Dad and I were trying to get a limit. He had 4 and I had 2, so he had a 5-fish limit and I had a 3. And I caught a smallmouth that was about 13.78. It wouldn't have mattered if it had been 14, because it wasn't heavy enough to beat Catherine, but I would have had a limit.
Yeah.
But literally caught it with about 2 minutes. We were right on the edge of the no-wake zone to get into before the time, and I caught that bass, and it just would not measure, and we just trolled it. I threw it back, and we trolled into the no-wake zone.
Yep. All right, next pick.
David Helton again, a couple of his. Those were his 2 big fish. He had a limit, and again, new to the club, he and Aaron Brewer, and those are his. One in the right hand's a smallmouth, and one in the left hand is a largemouth. Good fish.
Okay.
Lisa Rutherford with a pair of smallmouth. She caught 2, and nice fish for Lisa.
Okay. Next
co-angler side.
Co-angler. Next picture.
That's Jerry Houghtaling, my dad, and he had a largemouth and a smallie, both of them nice fish. And he had 4, didn't get a limit either. He and I both were 1 short of a limit, but that's his Sunday catch.
One short each, right?
1 short each of a limit.
Okay.
Lex ended up only getting 1 keeper on Sunday, and that was his fish. It's a nice smallmouth. Another good picture of Lex.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll go to the next one.
David Rutherford, nice largemouth there on his left hand, and a good smallie on his right. Another one of our anglers or boaters.
Okay, we go to the next.
We didn't get pictures of him on Saturday because it just downpoured. And that's Mark Willever again, a couple of his fish, and I think he had 3, so 2 of his keepers on Sunday.
Okay, and his Dallas Cowboys hat.
That's his MO. And then that picture, I put it on there. I didn't realize Lisa had taken the pictures for us, and she sent them all to me so I could get everything put in.
Right.
And that's David. I think that was at a different lake. I think she didn't realize she had sent it to me. I think that was Big Bass at Brantley or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's a good picture of David Rutherford, our tournament director, and that's a nice bass. But that wasn't caught at Ute. No.
That is a good picture,
that's a good picture, yeah.
No question about
and
it.
And that should be it.
Yeah.
All right, so it was a good tournament, a good turnout, and congratulations to our winners. Aaron Brewer, like I said, our newest, he and David Helton, our newest 2 members, fished with us, and I'm hoping Brantley has water in it. We've got a tournament coming up, two tournaments coming at Brantley, and then we also go in July, and we also go to Lake Fort Phantom Hill, just north of Abilene, in July. So we've got 4 more tournaments coming in July.
Well, and the rains certainly will help get some water back into Brantley Lake once it eventually gets downstream.
Yeah, I got 1 3/4 inches at my house. I saw around today a lot of people got 2 inches. What'd you get?
Officially, it was 2.51 inches at the Ag Science Center south of town.
And I know Roswell, when Dad and I came through there yesterday evening, it was flooded. And then I saw on Facebook they actually flooded. I mean, they're over 3 inches is at 1%. It's that 100-year flood because it happened. If I read it right, it happened like in 1 hour.
Right. No, it was a bunch. Yeah. It dumped and so there were a lot of folks that got flooded there in Roswell and other issues.
And they called it specifically a 1%. And then a post I saw from Roswell Daily Record or something, and it said, the 1%er or what used to be called the 100-year flood. When it comes all at once like that and it just over 3 inches, that's crazy. Yeah, and we'll see if they get another 100-year flood within 100 years. Yeah, I hope so. We need the water.
We'll stick around and see. All right, so when you come back next week, we'll talk about the upcoming fishing tournaments.
Yep.
You can go to
pvbm.club.
And check out all the results there and the pictures. And if you want to sign up and join the club, happy to do it. Hey, thanks to Rob. That's what's left from sandwiches, so I figured you'd probably take that with you.
Okay.
Thanks to Rob for some delicious coffee and great gourmet breakfast sandwiches from Kith and Kin. Hope you enjoy a breakfast very soon there as well. Joby, thanks so much for coming in and doing your report. And we'll be back here to do this again tomorrow morning at 7 on KSVP.